Hi, Jose. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. If you could please introduce yourself, what you do, and,
Absolutely. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me. My name is Jose Ortega. I work with Fundrise. Fundrise is a direct investor, alternative asset manager. We started off in the real estate space, have kind of progressed over into other alternative assets as well, primarily growth tech, but real estate still being kind of a core focus for us. I joined Fundrise about 2.5 years ago to work on the multifamily side. And my role has kind of evolved with time. First joined to kind of give our operations team a little bit more structure. Gradually, my role has kind of evolved more to the portfolio management, financial performance side of things. But lucky to be able to kind of be the point person for our multifamily relationship with Rently as well. And it's been a great experience as well.
Thank you. Can you please tell us where we are at and for what cause?
So we're here at the 2023 Rently Summit. This is, I believe, the first time that you guys are doing a joint summit between SFR and multifamily, and it's been a great time. I think lots of great connections made, as well as learnings. It's been great to just kind of hear subject matter experts speak, as well as learn about the new Rently products as well.
Was there a particular session or activity that stood out to you?
I think for me, it was the second day being today, just kind of hearing about the updates to the products, learning about what's new coming down the pike, as well as kind of just the updates to the existing product offering that you guys have was really interesting. I sat in on the multifamily group session, and I was interested in hearing about the renter screening side of things. I know that's something that's been more so reserved a little bit for the SFR side up until now. And it's interesting to hear that, that push is being made for multifamily. I feel like there's a lot of room there, in the industry. There's opportunity, and just kind of spaces for Rently to take advantage of that. And I think I don't want to say it's a hot word, but it's definitely relevant, with rising delinquency and renter fraud being a primary issue. But I think that there's a need to make sure that both the prospects as well as through the renter life cycle that they're verified and that that we're bringing the right people into our properties. So definitely a lot of opportunity there, and interested in hearing more about it as we progress.
How has your experience been working with Rently? How have our products or software impacted your communities or homes?
We started our relationship with Rently, I want to say around 2 years ago, primarily on the SFR side with self-guided tours. And then that progressively evolved into the smart home technology as well. And about 1.5 years ago, our SFR team kind of approached us. To give you a little bit of background, the way we kind of keep our SFR and our multifamily teams a little bit separate. There's communication within the two, but in terms of initiatives and the way that the departments are run and the assets are run, it is separate. And so about 1 year ago, our SFR team reached out to us and said, hey, we have this great partner in smart home technology as well as self-guided tours. And at that point in time, we were looking into different alternatives and options within the smart home space. Just kind of seeing that we wanted to be an early mover in that and not necessarily wait until it was a little bit too late. And everybody had kind of adopted it to kind of move into that space. And so with that in mind, I actually attended the SFR conference last year in January 2022. And that kind of got the relationship kick-started on the multifamily side, and we eventually launched self-guided tours shortly after that and started the conversation on smart home technology as well. And actually this year, we did move forward with launching smart home technology at 2 of our assets, one in the surrounding areas around Houston and one around Orlando in Florida. So that's been a great experience as well. Different than the self-guided tours, and I think it kind of exposes a little bit more to, kind of the bread and butter of Rently. But it's been a great experience, and we're looking forward to launching more smart home technology across our portfolio.
What would you say is something that renters and tenants, what are their thoughts with Rently's products and software? especially when it comes to smart home and touring?
So I think, what Rently does is ultimately the goal with all smart home technology is to just make tenants' lives easier, right? And just kind of bring convenience. And so I think with that in mind, that's really, from what I've heard from our property managers and from the limited conversations I've had with residents is just kind of the ease of the software. The interface is just easy to use, and it brings convenience to their lives, right? And I think, just to give a very simple example, but just the smart locks, be able to generate different locks for different people. We have a lot of residents with pets, and so, you have pet walkers coming in, accessing the unit, even for maintenance orders as well, right? Just the transparency that it adds to everything for the resident, knowing who was in their unit, at what time, when they entered, when they left. The fact that they can generate codes one time and that's it. The fact that they can enter their unit, without a key. The keyless aspect of this, I think, is also crucial. And so I think that's what it comes down to, is just convenience.
What does the future look like for your partnership with Rently?
Well, I hope the future is bright. And, I think we really hope that we're going to be deploying more smart home technology across our portfolio, both on the multifamily as well as the SFR side. And then hopefully, hearing more about the new products that Rently is launching as well. I think that as I was mentioning, tenant screening is top of mind for a number of reasons, but that's something that we're definitely interested in exploring. And then just kind of, becoming, I think, as technology evolves as well, being hopefully on the forefront and being able to share feedback on, what's working, what's not working. If we identify a need for something in particular, hopefully working with you guys so that, we can get that product to market.
Exactly. Thank you. Would you recommend us to others? What is something you would say to someone considering working with Rently?
I would definitely recommend Rently to anybody looking to deploy smart home technology, self-guided touring, any of the products that you offer. I think what sets Rently apart, and I noticed this very early on in our partnership with you all, is the attention to detail and the people behind the company. I think that that's something that really does set you apart from the competition. There's larger players in the space. There are deeper pockets, but I think ultimately Rently shows that, that they care, and that, when the rubber meets the road, there's going to be some potholes on the road, you guys are going to be there with us to address the issues that come up. And I think that our company values align as well, kind of between Fundrise and Rently. Ultimately, it's about caring, kind of beyond just the numbers on the page. And, I think that can't really be said for all companies, but I think that alignment between our two companies makes us, good partners in this.
Thank you. I'm glad you feel that way. If there's one word you could use to describe your experience with Rently, what would it be and why?
That's actually a tough question. Transparency is, I think, what it would come down to. I think we feel comfortable telling you all what we need, and even if it's not really what we had initially talked about, or if it doesn't meet the expectations, we know that that we're going to work together on finding that common ground, and vice versa. I think during our time working together, we've had a really good experience just kind of knowing what we can expect, and that is just something that's hugely valuable.
Is there anything else you would like to add or share about your experience at the summit, your space in the industry?
I think just in general, these sort of experiences, and this summit in particular, I think Rently does a great job of just organizing it, making it feel a very intimate experience, bringing highly qualified professionals from different corners of the industry, and just a very diverse set of people. So we have property managers, we have owner operators, we have different providers in the industry too. And I think that in a very kind of intimate and small setting, there's a lot of learning, a lot of networking that's happening. And ultimately, I feel like these spaces are just great for understanding different trends and keeping our finger on the pulse on what's happening in the industry.
Thank you so much, Jose, for speaking with me today, and I hope you have a safe travels home.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.